barriers to marketing the body. So selling the body, whether it's, sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it? We'll see why in a minute. Why does it sound dodgy to say selling the body? Well, whether you're teaching a yoga class, an embodiment class, this will be useful for my Purpose Black Belt, EYP and EFC students, so I hope you all get a copy. You will realize that as soon as you say the word body, yeah, as soon as you say the word yoga, as soon as you say embodied, it's going to have a certain reaction in people. Why is that? Well, we live in a disembodied world where the body has been reduced to a brain taxi. So people are like, well, yeah, why? I don't get it. Confusion. But the body's also left with athletics and sex. Yeah, so sex and aesthetics and athletics. So most people hear body, they think sexy. Like I even hear like grown businessmen, oh, body, he said body, we're gonna get in our bodies. Oh, I'd like to get in your body. Yeah. So there's this kind of embarrassment, this kind of juvenile behavior that comes as soon as you say the word body. And you've got to take that on board. You know, that's a potential barrier to doing corporate work. And touch, you know, we live in a pretty touch-phobic culture. A lot of corporations have said to me, look, you're not going to touch anyone on this embodiment course. It sounds weird. Or well, some of them have said to me, don't touch anyone specifically. I've gone, okay, I can do it without touching. So this fear of touch is another one. The other fears that come up, you know, the body aesthetic, we get bombarded with so much media imagery of the perfect body, particularly women. I don't think most, I mean, it's not great for men, but I don't think men really know how bad women have this, to be honest. Absolutely bombarded with images of the supposedly perfect body. So as soon as I say body, I just see half the room go, I'm fat, yeah? I see half the room go, I'm too short, I'm too old, you know, whatever. So as soon as you say body, insecurities come up. And that is, you know, anyone who's doing an embodiment course, as far as I'm concerned, is a hero. They're brave, they're courageous. I respect them. I respect them for doing it. And the more mainstream they are, the more I respect them for walking through that door to do the yoga class. Athleticism is another one. You know, I was talking to a yoga teacher just last night, and she was saying to me, look, the reason she doesn't put hardcore postures on her yoga flyer, or if she's teaching meditation, it's not like lotus position, is that people look at that and they get scared off. They go, well, I can't do a handstand. I can't even imagine doing a handstand. Even though the yoga teacher looks cool, I couldn't possibly be that. I couldn't do that, so I'm not going to bother going to the class. So that's a barrier, the fear, you know. And another yoga teacher I was talking to a couple of nights ago was saying, you know, there's this overweight person in their class, and they'll only come if they bring their friend, because they're still embarrassed about sweating, about not being able to do postures. So we have to be really positive in our embodiment classes around this, by A, not drawing attention to people, but B, providing different options, not making it like, well, if you're good enough, do this option, but otherwise do this other version. Yeah, actually switching that, so you're showing everyone the basic, and then potentially offering another one if someone else wants it, and not seeing it like as a progression to like, you know, if you can finally get both legs behind your head and suck your own dick, then you're enlightened or something. You know, it's ridiculous, you know? I always joke that otherwise, like, 6-year-old Chinese gymnasts would be enlightened, wouldn't they? They'd be the most spiritual people, yeah, if it was all about flexibility. So not putting people off, that can be a barrier. Athleticism. In my corporate classes, people will say, oh, do we have to do press-ups, or we're not going to work out, are we? And that's part of their insecurities, maybe about health or fitness or age or weight. And also that's just what they associate with body, is sports. You know, that's what they think of when you say body, is sex and sports. So there are a couple of barriers. What other barriers are there for working with the body generally? It can be practical things like, you know, being given a room to do yoga or embodiment in, which has a boardroom table and loads of chairs and no space, because why would you need space? We don't move around in training. That could be another sort of practical problem to working with the body. I think they're the main ones, the sort of culture of suing and people being scared of, the other fear there, the great fear for people is their own emotions. Yeah. As soon as you start working with the body, you work with the emotional body, right? You're like, how do I feel? That's actually a scary question. That's a threatening question to a lot of clients, is how they feel. And they don't necessarily want to get in touch with the vulnerability of the body. So I think that's another potential barrier. All of these, though, if you can speak to, if you can set up things in the right way, change how you're teaching to suit these things, all workable. So yeah, some of the barriers to working with the body. And as I say, the average yoga teacher might just forget this. They might forget that people are worried about how they look, or about have this view of the body, or the shame around it that exists in our culture. So I think it's worth reminding ourselves. Look at the book, Working Working with Normal People, A Guide for Hippies is a free ebook that I put online on the EFC site. That would be another great resource for this. So yeah, there's some of the barriers to working with the body. And if you're a yoga studio owner and you want to be successful, you really need to acknowledge these. If you want, I can't dance, it's like I can't draw. That's going to be a barrier, right? Like, yeah, you can dance. You dance when you're a kid. My 5-year-old niece dances, But realizing that people have that barrier to the shame of movement, the shame of incompetence if they think dancing is, the professionals from the TV. So there's some of the barriers. And if you want to be successful in working with the body, you need to help people overcome those.